Hello goblins, it's Chris, Eldritch Pipes, and it's this week's slightly late episode of this week's Pipes. I usually try and get the video out on Fridays, but we had a kind of a magic gathering. Should I explain that or just leave it how it sounds? There's a gathering to play Magic, the Gathering, which is the card game I've been getting into. And so because I was doing that, I didn't have time to do the video, but that's okay. We're not running on a tight schedule here. I'm smoking from Tilbury, which is a perfect Sunday morning smoke. Just really buttery and toasty and mellow and kind of, it's got a real Sunday vibe about it to me. Before I get to the pipes, I'm trying out a new resin colour that may go into the vintage swirl set. I was meant to be doing 7 colours, but this one is meant to be a direct copy of a specific colour combo, a specific vintage bakelite that Micah uses. It's such a nice one that I had to give it a go, but it's not in my normal palette range. It is a dark brown, a very dark brown and cream, and in this version the dark brown is slightly transparent and the cream is opaque. That's the idea. So it's the cream sinking into the deep brown. That's the look. Now, the actual combo is beautiful. The colour combo is just, I love it. How it turns out, with a stem of course, we won't know until I make one. And in fact, I'll be making a stem next week. So we'll get to see what it looks like. I've got a feeling, my gut instinct is that it'll need a tweak, but we'll see. I'm excited about that one. Well, I'm excited about all of them, but this is a bit more unknown territory because the brown comes from a different sort of pigment line. I don't know how it's going to interact. We'll see. Alright. This week's pipes. 2 pipes. Both, how would I just, well, one is a very common shape. You'll recognise that immediately, but I haven't done this colour combo very often, and one is one of my more common shapes, but I still don't do it that often. So I haven't shown you one for a little while, and this is a nice version of it. All right. So first one. There's a slender man. It is in chocolate sandblast paired with a British racing green stem. This is from the vintage line, and the combo is really, it just gives you that sort of vintage British vibe really strongly. That sort of that red brown chocolate and the British racing green together, it's just got this real vintage British look to it. It kind of sings in that sense. Pretty rugged plateau, which you know I'm a fan of. Really prominent ring grain. Look at that go. Really quite tightly spaced, quite even. A good job. Well done, ring grain, on this bit of briar. Goes a little bit crazy towards the rim, but just like those really tight bands, very nice. Just admiring that British green. Sometimes people ask, what variations of a pipe can you do? Maybe they've only seen, maybe they've just seen one, and they wonder what can a pipe maker do? What variations are possible? And it's like, well, there's, in one sense, there's like the rainbow. I can do nearly anything with enough time to arrange stuff. It's more about what does the customer want. I can do most things. I can't do really, like the Germans do or some of them anyway, do that, what they call it. It's that bleach washed look. I've forgotten the name that they've given that now, but it effectively is like this pale bleached look that then allows, you can either keep it as it is, or you can stain for a really vibrant look. I don't do that, but a lot of the other colours. Blue doesn't work great on a pipe. Not very well. Just because the colour of briar being yellow, goes pale yellow, but it leans subtly into the orange. Put blue on top, you wind up getting greenish tones more or less. Put that down. So blue doesn't tend to work. Sometimes purple, that's a very odd look. It works on some pipes with a sympathetic stem colour. But as far as stem colours goes, I can do most colours. As long as you're not really specific about a particular colour. Don't give me RGB values. Alright, let's have a look at this guy. A Zulu. Kind of a special Zulu, actually. First of all, we've got, again, nice. These last couple of blasts, the ring grain has really been popping. I don't know whether that's because I've subconsciously changed the angle that I'm blasting at. If I have, I've got to try and remember what I'm doing, because it just seemed like with the last couple of pipes, the ring grain has really popped. Look at that go. Pretty cool. I did this guy with the plateau rim because it was just crying out for it. I could have done a flat top, but why suppress all that nature? I really like in a Zulu, you got the subtle S curve, but you have this really open, it's really open curve at the bottom, and then a more tight transition at the top. So it's the mix of the two gives you this kind of like classic shape, sort of falling in this nebulous area somewhere between. I suppose. Do I want to say a billiard and a horn? Something like that. It's kind of this between two worlds almost. But lovely classic shape. And also you get this nice taper in the shank from the bowl. to the stem, and I enjoy doing that as well. It's an oval shank, the way that I do it anyway. And this is from the vintage swirl set. This is the infrared one. So I haven't come up with a name for this one yet. Infrared something. I'm just calling it infrared swirl for now. But you can see it's just this really nice. The infrared is super dark, and then out of the dark you just get the white swirls coming in. First of all, like dark red, and then poking through, like very nearly at the surface with a bright red, and then finally peeking through with white. Really nice. All right, there you go. Zulu with plateau. All right, more pipes coming next week for sure. What am I making next week? It's left my mind. I can't remember what I'm making next week. Oh yes, I'm making a rather unusual strawberry. I do know that, amongst other things. 3 different shapes to do next week, so hopefully I'll have what I call a full roster, 3 pipes for the week. I'm still doing a little bit of resin, cutting into a bit of my pipe making time, but that's that's ebbing off at the moment, so there'll be more pipe making time next week for sure. All right, I will see you next week. Until then, take it very easy, your loyal pipe maker.